Hello, everybody. It is Matt, and it is Bloodthirsty Thursday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on to any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. And one last little tidbit of information. Check out the description box. I give you a bigger bite of every single movie of every single day. Today I give you a brief synopsis, the starring cast, the director, runtime of the cut I was watching, along with a link for a trailer. And if you decide, you can help toss me a couple of dollars and help support Matt's Movie Mania. So with all that said in mind and all that out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. And today's is a really interesting one. I really loved it from beginning to end. It is none other than the 2024 film from I think they're called Trash Arts Productions, if I remember correctly. I forget. Sibley is the last name of the director. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with. I think Stanley. And then Sam Mason Bell was in Jackson Batchelor. The three of them, they came up with this prequel to Taped Up Memories, and this is none other than Taped Up Families, not Taped Up Memories, Taped Up Families. And like I said, this is 2024 release. It has not been released here in the United States yet, just released over in the UK on the 1st of March. I imagine we'll get it sometime either this year or next year. Fingers crossed for this year for both Taped Up Memories and Taped Up Families. I feel like they're both absolutely just great little found-on-footage films. It runs at about an hour and 10 minutes. It's not rated. I was only able to get you, like I said, a link for a trailer for it. There's nowhere where you can purchase it yet or to stream it. So, sorry that I don't have that there for you this time. But now, what exactly is Taped Up Families all about? Well, it's basically, what it does is it's a prequel to Taped Up Memories. Where in Taped Up Memories, a character by the name of Val, played by Jackson Batchelor, is a hitchhiker who is picked up on the side of the road, and he basically dismantles an entire family piece by piece, and they find the footage along the side of the road. Now this one, it picks up basically where that left off in ways actually beforehand. It's a prequel, but it picks up where that one left off because they find the footage after the killings in Taped Up Memories, which shows what Jackson Batchelor, or Val is his name, what he did beforehand. And so what's going on is there's a group of military friends, ex-military I should say. They are creating a promotional video for other ex-vets to come together and do this journey out into the wilderness. They go camping. They have a paintball shootout tournament type thing. Share stories, get drunk, just have a good time, and just kind of like let go of the war, you know, just try to relieve some of that PTSD, some of that stress, some of that built up hostility that they have still left in their bodies from fighting in a war they feel like they did their best at, but they also kind of are very reluctant, you know, like they're happy that they're alive, kind of, in other words. And so Jackson Batchelor, or excuse me, Val, is friends with one of them, and when they're meeting up to get ready to head off into the woods, they meet up with Jackson or Val, excuse me, and then they head off into the woods. They find the spot that they're looking for, set up camp, have their little paintball tournament in which it gets very intense. One guy gets shot in the back and he's kind of upset about it because he's like, oh, hey, you shot me in the back, kind of a coward move. And then we got Jackson Batchelor running around like a madman with a handgun. For a handgun paintball gun, going after another guy, and essentially what happens is it gets a little intense, and a fight happens, and they basically come in and break up the fight. Val is very upset about this, and he kind of feels like an outcast, which in all essence he is an outcast. He is an outcast straight from the beginning. Right when you meet him, he is off in the distance peeking around a bush like a creep. Like the guy really sets off the creep vibes perfectly. Val is one of those characters that comes along only once in a while, and it really commands the screen, commands all of your attention, and really gets it in a very good way. Now, eventually, he goes off, and they go back to the camp, and they're setting up for their night scene. And the night scene, they are talking all about various things that they, through either the war or stories of childhood growing up. Like their leader, he has a story about a man and a husband and a wife that used to live by them when he was growing up. And he found out that the husband was part of World War II. And he was part of, I forget exactly what they called the group, but the group was a legendary group of badasses that essentially were behind enemy lines for so long that they were mostly dying off from starvation, snakes, spiders, the environment, malnutrition, just things of that nature. They were dying more from that than they were than the enemy soldiers, which were the Japanese at the time, and they were deep in enemy lines in Burma. Very interesting story. I actually would like to see a movie based on that. I think that would be really cool to have a nice little action war flick based on that group of people. I know that's kind of a expensive kind of budget, but I think it'd be pretty neat. But anyways, Val and the leader of them, I forget his name exactly, they go off and they're having a little talk. Val eventually decides he's had enough, and he stabs him in the throat, kills him right then and there. The next morning they wake up and they can't find him, and they are all going on a little search party to find him. Val slowly but surely gets them to split up, and then he takes them out one by one. It's actually really cool. You get a bear trap death scene, which is really neat. Stabbings. A guy gets shot in the fucking throat with a like inside of his mouth with a in the back of his throat with a paintball gun. I don't know if it would kill you, but I imagine maybe the paint would suffocate you or something along those lines. Either way, it was still kind of fun and cool. And then the movie ends with Val basically dispatching each and every one of our victims. Very cool stuff. Now on to the three things that I love my movies to meet. First, the audio is crisp, cool, and clean, as I like to say. There is never a moment where I had to rewind it to re-listen to what they're saying. Granted, yes, this is a UK film, and of course they have an accent. In some thicker than others, but it was not affected at all by any means. My tender little United States ears could pick up on those English accents very well. So I'm going to give it an A+ on that. The second thing is dialogue. Dialogue is very good in this. I think that Sam Jackson and I believe Stanley was his name, Sibley. I'm just going to say Sibley. Sam Jackson and Sibley, they all three came up with a brilliant freaking story here. I believe Jackson and Sam are credited for writing this. The dialogue is so like hip and cool. It's the way people would talk nowadays. I've had friends in the military in the past, and they talk exactly like that, other than different slang here and there because of, different countries. But they have a lot of that same jargon, and I really picked up on it and really liked it a lot for that. So I'm going to give it another A+ there. Now on to editing. Editing is done very clean. There's no weird continuity errors due to editing. There's no silly jump cuts that don't make any sense. It really stays at a nice steady pace. And at the bottom screen down here, they have a runtime of the date and the time. And they never once messed that up, so that's also an A on my end, because I have seen lots of found footage movies where they screw that up and they will have the date wrong or the times conflict with each other through scene to scene. They didn't do that with this because I made sure to watch it the entire time. I constantly had one eye looking down at that and one eye on the screen. It was one of those kind of ordeals. So like I said, it's going to get an A+ on editing. Now on to the final score of 1 through 5. I will admit that this one I do enjoy way more than Taped Up Memories. Even though Taped Up Memories, I believe I gave that a 4.5 or a 4 out of 5, if memory serves me correct. This one is definitely a 4.5 out of 5 in my opinion. It is almost there to be a 5.0. If it was maybe 15 minutes longer and we had a little more of the red stuff, a little more of the gore, I think it would have pushed it a little further. I can't wait to hopefully, I believe Sam said that there's going to be a third one to this. I can't wait for it. I really hope that's the case, because I love the Val character. I want to see him murder and destroy more people, but then again, I also want to see him catch his comeuppance and hopefully the police or somebody stop him before he goes too far again. Alright guys, I love your faces. I'll be back at you on Saturday with a Joe Sherlock review of the film Otter Noggins, one of his new ones. And then next week will be a special week. It'll be everything, all 4 videos, because I will be able to squeeze in 4 reviews next week. And I will be able to do, and all 4 of them will be coming directly from Toxic Filth Video. So I'm going to be doing some love for Jason Toth and all of them. Alright guys, I love your faces. Can't wait to see you this weekend. Hope you have a great day. And as always, peace.